All right, so welcome everyone to the Kick Sugar webinar. All right, let's get started. Hopefully this is all working back end. And so welcome to the Kick Sugar webinar. So reducing sugar intake is one of the most impactful changes I encourage my patients to make, especially when it comes to women's health, children's well-being and hormone balances. So excess sugar disrupts blood sugar levels, leading to energy crashes, mood swings and increased inflammation, all of which can contribute to different skin conditions like acne, eczema, reproductive issues like PCOS and irregular cycles, energy crashes, mood swings, poor immune function, mood instability. So it's not just about reducing sugar to avoid weight gain, it's about optimizing your overall health. So this is what we're going to cover. So we're just going to talk about what sugar is, where you can find hidden sugars, so what happens to your body and your brain when you've got excess sugar consumption, the truth about artificial sweeteners and your healthy sugars, and then some practical ways to help you kick sugar and to identify the underlying drivers behind your sugar cravings. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Katherine. I am a naturopath, massage therapist, beauty therapist, and a mum of 2 girls. And it was after having my kids when I started to read food labels more that I was shocked by how misleading some of the packaging could be. And while I was fortunate enough to be able to prepare most of our meals from scratch, I was also juggling family and running to allied health clinics. So I understand that making things from scratch isn't feasible for everyone. So we need to rely on these prepackaged foods, but the companies behind the foods don't always share our health goals, which is why I'm here to try and help you make better choices for yourself and for your family. So what is sugar? Sugar is it's a type of carbohydrate that our body uses for energy. There are 3 main subtypes in that. So you have your monosaccharides, which are your simple sugars like glucose and fructose, and they're the main fuel source for your body, and they break down quite quickly. Then you have your disaccharides, which are sucrose and lactose, and your polysaccharides, which are a little bit more complex, and they take a lot longer to break down and provide that sustained energy. So that's your fibers and your starches. And so just to clarify, this workshop isn't about cutting out carbs altogether. Those natural sugars found in your whole foods contain fibers, vitamins, minerals. So there's a lot of benefits to those foods, and the harmful effects of the excess sugar is mitigated. So in contrast, the added sugars in processed foods and drinks, they're the ones that lead to the blood sugar spikes, inflammation, and the other health issues. So refined sugar is a highly processed form of sugar, which is stripped of all those natural fibers, vitamins, and minerals, and provides empty calories with no nutritional benefit. Its rapid absorption into the bloodstream causes the blood sugar spikes, which increases the risk of inflammation, insulin resistance, and hormone imbalances. And today, sugar dominates our food supply. It's hidden in so many different things, even those things which claim to be healthy. The hidden sugar is often disguised under deceptive names like corn syrup, maltodextrin, dextrose, and fruit juice concentrates. It lurks in seemingly healthy foods like yogurt, granola bars, sauces, and even your savory things like bread and condiments. And the high fructose corn syrup is the worst. It's a highly processed sweetener made from cornstarch. And it's commonly found in your soft drinks and your packaged foods and condiments. It's a mixture of glucose and fructose, which is similar to table sugar, but its high fruit content is linked to insulin resistance, increased inflammation, and fatty liver disease. So unlike natural sugars, which are found in your whole foods, the high fructose corn syrup is quickly absorbed into the blood system and leads to those sugar spikes and crashes. Now, Throughout human evolution, sugar was rare and it was primarily consumed in natural sources like fruit and honey, which were seasonal and packed with other things like fiber and other nutrients. So our ancestors relied on these whole foods, and our bodies are adapted to effectively process only small amounts of sugar. However, in modern times, with the rise in processed foods and refined sugars, our intake has skyrocketed beyond what our bodies were designed to be able to handle. So insulin is the hormone which regulates our blood sugar by helping our cells absorb glucose for energy and for storage. So historically, humans consumed minimal refined sugar, and this allowed insulin to function optimally. However, our modern diets are high in processed carbs and added sugars, which cause those frequent insulin spikes, leading to insulin resistance, weight gain, and hormonal imbalances. It's this disconnect between our evolutionary biology and today's constant sugar intake, which contributes to the metabolic disorders such as diabetes, PCOS, and any other inflammation-driven disease you can think of. So our bodies are still designed like our ancestors. We're very effective at storing sugar as fat. But we have, our lifestyles are much more sedentary. We have a lot of chronic stress, lack of sleep, and that excess sugar intake. And this adaptation to effectively store sugar as fat is now what's contributing to those metabolic imbalances and the long-term health issues. And this diagram just shows you a little bit about what the high sugar intake does to our brains and our bodies. But essentially, it's imagine if you were watering your garden with soft drink instead of water, how well do you think your plants would thrive? Or if you were feeding your pet dog lollies and ice cream or something that was just completely unnatural to his biology, how well do you think he would be? But yet we rarely ask these questions of ourselves when we're consuming these foods. So excess sugar also depletes essential nutrients within your body because it absorbs it disrupts the absorption and the utilization of minerals and vitamins. And high sugar intake also increases the demand of certain nutrients such as magnesium, chromium, and a few of your B vitamins, which are all involved in that metabolism of glucose. So a few of the impacts of sugar on our body. So it, as I said, it just leads to that systemic inflammation. It contributes to poor gut health, poor immune function, all the metabolic diseases and hormonal imbalances. As I said, so sugar feeds harmful gut bacteria, which can exacerbate any of your skin conditions like rosacea or eczema, but it also contributes to insulin resistance and IBS. And it has also been linked to many different types of cancers. So are you addicted to sugar? Yes, you bet. So sugar triggers the release of dopamine, which is our brain's feel-good chemical, creating that temporary sense of pleasure and reward. It's this dopamine spike that leads to the cravings and that cycle of overconsumption, making sugar highly addictive in a way similar to other certain narcotics, other certain drugs. So this, over time, this frequent consumption can dull the dopamine receptors, meaning we need larger amounts of sugar to achieve the same pleasure, reinforcing that cycle of cravings and dependence. And this is just that blood sugar roller coaster, so it just shows that, with frequent high sugar intake, you have that rapid spike leading to that energy rush, followed by the crash, which triggers fatigue and cravings and mood swings, and causes us to go for those quick energy hits like your caffeine, leading to another spike and just creating that cycle of instability. So sugar is stressful. It's stressful on our bodies because of those highs and those crashes. It overworks our pancreas, it disrupts our hormone balance, and it triggers a release of the stress hormones like cortisol, which ages our brains and our bodies. So one of the biggest impacts you can have on your health is to get off that roller coaster and have balanced blood sugar. So kicking sugar is key to improving weight loss, energy, sleep, stress response, digestion, hormones, immune functions, mood, skin, and any other chronic disease you can think of. So artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are a synthetic sugar substitute found in your diet sodas and your sugar-free snacks and processed foods, and are often marketed as the healthier alternative to sugar. While they contain no calories, they can disrupt your gut health by altering the gut microbiome, and they can contribute to the insulin resistance by confusing the body's natural response to sweetness. So some studies have actually linked the artificial sweeteners to increased cravings, metabolic imbalances, and a higher risk of weight gain over time. And your healthy sugars. So while your natural sweeteners like honey or molasses, maple syrup, they do contain beneficial enzymes and antioxidants, they still impact your body's blood sugar levels, and they can contribute to insulin resistance when consumed in excess. So relying on these healthy sugars too much can keep cravings for sweetness high, making it harder to break free of that sugar dependence cycle. So here are my 7 tips for for reducing your sugar intake and curbing cravings. So tip 1 is to drink plenty of water. So drinking water helps to reduce sugar intake by keeping the body hydrated and preventing that misinterpreted thirst signal, which often feels like a sugar craving. So water also helps to flush out excess sugar. It supports digestion and it improves overall metabolic function, making it an essential tool in breaking that sugar dependence cycle. So tip number 2 is your sweet plants. So sweet plants like corn, sweet potato, and pumpkin offer a natural alternative to refined sugar while providing fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, and their natural sweetness satisfies your craving without causing any rapid blood sugar spikes, helping you to stabilize your energy levels. And tip number 3 is get enough sleep. So getting enough sleep helps regulate your hunger hormones, so your ghrelin and your leptin. It reduces sugar cravings and cravings for processed food. So poor sleep disrupts your blood sugar balance and increases cortisol, which leads to those energy crashes and a stronger sugar craving. Tip number 4 is to make sure you're getting enough protein. So consuming adequate protein helps reduce sugar cravings by stabilizing your blood sugar levels and promoting that feeling of fullness. So protein slows the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, preventing those rapid spikes and crashes that often trigger sweet cravings. Tip number 5 is to eat full fat. Low-fat products are often marketed as the healthier alternative, but to compensate for the lack of fat, they are often loaded with heaps of sugar, which can lead to those blood sugar spikes, insulin resistance, and weight gain. Fat is also an essential nutrient which helps with satiety, that feeling of fullness. It also helps to regulate your hormones and is needed for nutrient absorption. So without it, these products often leave us feeling hungry sooner, craving sugar, and can lead to nutrient deficiencies, which can drive weight gain, as well as a whole host of other things. So tip number 6 is to move more. So regular exercise helps regulate blood sugar by increasing insulin sensitivity. It increases reducing the likelihood of those blood sugar spikes. So physical activity also boosts the release of endorphins, those feel-good hormones. So it improves our mood. It reduces the emotional eating and craving for sugary comfort foods. And additionally, exercise helps to balance our hormones that are involved in hunger, that ghrelin and the leptin, which I mentioned earlier, making it easier to resist sugary snacks. And tip number 7 is to create those new rituals. So if you are if you are one to always want a sugary snack after dinner, then it's about creating that new after dinner ritual. So whether it's going for a walk or meal prepping for the next day, or doing some stretches and some yoga or something like that, maybe just writing down some gratitude points, anything that's going to distract you so that you can create that new ritual and get out of that post-dinner habit of sugar consumption. So conquering your cravings, this is about eating mindfully. So mindful eating helps reduce sugar cravings by encouraging a deeper awareness of our hunger cues, those emotional triggers, and the satisfaction delivered from food. So by slowing down and savoring each bite, you can tune into your body's needs, preventing overeating and a tendency to reach for that sugary snack out of habit or stress. So how to practice mindful eating. You sort of start by holding the food or observing its color, shape, and texture. You notice any details such as the tiny little spots on the strawberry there, and you take a slow, deep breath to inhale the smell, and then take a small bite and focus on the taste. Is it sweet, sour, juicy? And you chew it slowly, savoring each moment and paying attention to how the texture and the flavor changes as you continue to eat. And what this does is not only tells your body to get ready for food and helps to encourage the release of those digestive enzymes so you break down your food better. It also it just helps you regulate those hormones so that you don't so that your body has time to tell you that you're feeling full. Craving. So by taking note of your cravings, the time of the craving, the type of craving, the emotional state you're in, the food choices that you made when that craving hit. So it's about identifying the patterns, such as boredom, stress, or any other specific trigger that led to the sugar craving. So by tracking these details, you can better understand what the root cause of your craving is and gradually replace it with a healthier choice, or replace the unhealthy choice with a more healthier choice. So willpower alone often isn't enough to overcome sugar cravings because our bodies are biologically wired to seek those quick sources of energy like sugar, and the brain becomes conditioned to crave that dopamine rush. So simply relying on willpower to create, relying on willpower will create a cycle of deprivation and frustration, making it harder to sustain long term. So, when it comes to sugar, that strict deprivation can lead to intenser cravings and feelings of frustration, making it more difficult to maintain the healthy habits. So rather than depriving yourself, it's more effective to focus on nourishing choices that satisfy the body's need and create balance. And same with tough love. Tough love and criticism often backfire because they create that negative mindset and reinforce the feelings of guilt, which can lead to emotional eating and further sugar cravings. So instead of promoting lasting change, beating ourselves up often triggers stress and shame, which can worsen the very behaviors we're trying to change. Now, you need to think of these cravings as messages. So the cravings are messages from our body. They're signaling a need for nourishment or energy or balance, such as a lack of certain nutrients or an imbalance in blood sugar levels. But by paying attention to these cravings, you can better understand what it is that your body truly needs and make more informed, healthier choices rather than simply satisfying the craving with a quick sugary fix. So when we use food, especially sugary food, to soothe emotions, it's a temporary, fix. It temporarily satisfies that need for emotional comfort. But it doesn't address the underlying root cause of the feeling, which leads to a cycle of emotional eating and sugar dependency. So think about what it is you're actually craving. Is it the dopamine hit? Are you, or are you trying to avoid, just some other situation or emotion? But yeah, really honing into what it is that you are, what is driving that craving, what's behind the craving. And there are a few other underlying health issues that can cause cravings, sugar cravings, such as thyroid dysfunction, which affects your metabolism and your energy regulation. So additionally, hormone imbalances, such as those that are caused by stress and high cortisol, or imbalances in insulin and leptin, can drive sugar cravings as the body seeks to stabilize its energy levels. And some other areas that need looking into are your gut health, nutritional deficiencies, and any mental health issues. So imagine how incredible it will feel to finally break free from sugar cravings and wake up with steady energy and a truly nourished body. So your next step is to take all this information and start implementing it today. But sometimes I know that doing it on your own can be difficult. So having a supportive community can make all the difference. A support group can help offer motivation, accountability, and a shared experience. And if you'd like that kind of support, please get in touch with me either through the discovery call or an email, or I can add you to the upcoming 14-day detox program. So this program will be about taking everything from this webinar and putting it into practice, as well as there'll be recipes and tips on meal planning and prepping, and information on any additional support you might need through supplements or any daily rituals. And it will also be a place to just share your journey with others and to find the accountability and motivation to make truly lasting change. So as I said, if you prefer that kind of group support, then please get in contact. But if you do prefer one-on-one support, maybe there's some other underlying issues that you want to address, such as hormones or energy and skin, head to my website and book a one-on-one consultation. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here today. And sorry, I just realized my picture was in front of all of those slides. So I will make sure that I send those slides through to you without my face all over it. Thank you for joining me today. And also, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to email them through to me.